Hi, my name is Whitney Metz. I'm currently studying to get my associate in arts, and I'm not sure if I want to get my bachelor's degree or not yet, or what I would get it in. Something cool about me is that I use essential oils, and natural wellness is really important to me. So I really have a passion for it and telling others about it, and just learning about all of the plants that God put on this earth for wellness, and it's just fascinating to me. I named my journal Whitney's Stories About Communication because after writing it, I just felt like I shared a lot about myself and the way I communicate and what I struggle with communication as well. And I learned a lot through the journal entries about myself and about communication through the questions that were asked. Before taking this class, I thought I knew a lot about communication. So I thought it was going to be an easy class, but it turned out it was pretty hard for me because I didn't know as much about communication as I thought I did. So I'm really thankful that I was able to take this class because of that. So for the class, our journal entries were divided into 2 different units, and we had 8 total chapters. For Unit 1, my favorite chapter was the one about culture and communication. The reason why is because culture is something that I love to learn about. I love learning about different cultures. I love spending time with people that aren't from the same culture as me, and just learning through that. A key term from that chapter is intercultural communication, which can be defined as the process that occurs when members of 2 or more cultures or co-cultures exchange messages in a manner that is influenced by their different cultural perceptions and symbol systems, both verbal and nonverbal. So yeah, I just thought that was really interesting, and it stood out to me, the ways that different people can communicate through different cultures. For Unit 2, my favorite chapter was nonverbal communication. The reason why is because, I just think it's really neat that people can communicate without using words. Think about people that are deaf or just they can't really speak well. So it's just so important that we can use nonverbal communication. A key term that stood out to me is emblems, which are culturally understood substitutes for verbal expressions. For example, if you nod your head, yes or no. That was an example that was in the textbook. I also found some other examples of emblems or gestures like fingers crossed, like people use this as kind of like, I hope it's gonna work out, fingers crossed. Or thumbs up, like good job. Things like that. I can silently give you a thumbs up, and most cultures know that means good job or great, good, So yeah. For the chapters I didn't really care for Unit 1, it was the one about perceiving others. The reason why I didn't really like this is because I don't really like how we perceive others in a bad way sometimes. We all tend to do this, but if you are stereotyping somebody, you really don't know about them, which that's the key term I wanted to use. Stereotypes are exaggerated beliefs associated with a categorizing system. Most of the time, stereotypes are used when it comes to race, sex, or gender. And they can just be really offensive and not really nice for other people. So that's kind of why I was like, I don't really like this chapter that much. For Unit 2, the chapter that I didn't really care for was Chapter 7, about listening. The reason why I didn't like this chapter is because I felt called out whenever I was reading it. I was like, wow, I'm not a very good listener, and I didn't even realize it. But in the way, it was good. I read the chapter to learn more about it. So really, I felt like I'm not the best at listening to somebody really well and being able to understand what they're saying. A key term that stood out to me for that is understanding, which is attaching meaning to the message. I hope that you were able to learn some things about communication through me talking about these things. For me, this kind of just shows you what I learned from the class, some things that stood out to me and some things that I didn't like. I would like to say that my communication style is mostly nonverbal. I feel like my facial expressions and my gestures really are a big part of the way I communicate, and also my emotions. And I think that my emotions also play in with my nonverbal communication. You know, if I'm upset, my facial expression is not going to be very happy looking. So, you know, it'll show that I'm not happy. If I am happy, you know, this phrase will show you how happy I am. I learned that nonverbal communication, though, is very important, especially like I said before, if you're deaf. And it also shows your emotions, like I said. So I hope you enjoyed this.